Hello and welcome to the video on monopolistic competition. Okay, we are nearing the end of chapter 4. Okay, this is the third market structure that you've been learning about. Okay, and this is going to be an easy one after you have mastered the monopoly market structure. Okay, let's start. What is monopolistic competition? Okay, monopolistic competition, okay, is one of the more realistic market structures that is existent in the world right now. Okay, and we will see why. Okay, it is an imperfect competitive structure, okay, which means that the firms charge at where P is not equal to MC. Okay, so are they efficient? Yeah, that's a good question, huh? Can you go figure out? Okay, now they sell differentiated products, okay, but they are not as differentiated as a monopoly would do it. Okay, so there may be other firms who are selling the same thing, okay, but they are more differentiated. Like what I can think of is cosmetics, okay, cars, okay, even sports brands and things like that. Okay, we'll go through some examples after this. Okay, so these products are substitutes, but they are not exactly alike. Okay, not exactly alike, huh? Not okay. Next. So they have some control over the price because they are differentiated a little bit. Okay, now there are also little barriers to entry, so this is where it's similar to the perfect competition. Okay, as you can recall in the market spectrum, okay, in the monopolistic video, monopolistic competition is near towards just beside perfect competition. Okay, so they are short run monopolies, so in the short run they are controlling price. They may even be earning supernormal profit. Okay, and in the long run they will behave like perfect competitions, okay, and they will achieve only normal profit or even losses for that matter. Okay, so let me go through some examples with you. One of the good examples that I think of is cosmetic products. Okay, so you have got people like L'Oreal, Maybelline, Estee Lauder, Chanel or whatever selling makeup. You know, so makeup is a very generic good. You know, like foundation. You know, you just put it on your face. But different brands have got different qualities. You know, they market different things. Like maybe for example, L'Oreal says that when you put this on your face, you will look like Angelina Jolie or something like that. Okay, so they have their own differentiation using marketing. Okay, designer sportswear, Adidas versus Nike. Okay, so they differ in their marketing as well. Okay, automobiles, Mazda versus Toyota versus Honda. Okay, so there aren't necessarily only two firms in the picture. Okay, there are many firms. Okay, they're in monopolistic competition. There are many players. All right. Okay, so let me show you the initial equilibrium. All right. Okay, so this is very similar to our monopoly initial equilibrium, but take note, okay, that in a monopolistic competition, okay, the firm can be earning normal profit as well. How is that possible? Well, you can have your average cost curve being tangent to point A, okay, and that would show normal profit, so they are not making any profit nor losses. Okay, so for this one, there are only two graph dynamics, something that will happen to your demand curve and something that happens to your cost curves. Okay, so let's start with the demand curves first. Okay, so I'm gonna start with this side. Okay, so just let me cover up this part. Alright, now assuming that we have got new entrants coming into the market, okay, because there are profits that attract competitors. Alright, so what's gonna happen? There'll be more choices. More choices for who? For who? The consumers. That's right. So when there's more choices for the consumers, the demand towards your firm decreases. Okay, so when your demand towards the firm decreases, what happens to your demand curve? It shifts to the left. Okay, so once there are more competitors, you must share the market. Okay, and this tells me something about my elasticity. Okay, since I got more choices, the power of me to control my price has fallen, and that is why the elasticity has increased. It has become more elastic. So the black color line, the black line is the initial demand curve. So after the new entrants came in, so this is what happened. Okay, the demand curve has shifted inwards and it has rotated to become flatter, because a flatter demand curve shows higher elasticity. Okay, so what if it goes the other way around? Okay, what if firms leave? Okay, when firms leave, okay, is pretty much the same. Okay, when firms leave, we are going to have less choices. Okay, when we have less choices, the demand towards that firm, the particular firm that is surviving, will increase. And once the demand increase, what will happen to our demand curve? It will shift to the right. Okay, now we have larger market share because of the competitors. They're out of the market, they're out of the industry. We as the survivors, we have got the remaining market share, and that's why it increases. So they give us more power to change the price, and that is why the elasticity would decrease, making the demand more inelastic. So this is the initial demand curve over here. So when the competitors left, what happened was the demand curve shift out and it rotated downwards to show lesser elasticity, making the curve more inelastic. Okay, now let me show you what's gonna happen when there are new entrants. Okay, so as you can see in this graph over here, okay, the firm is making supernormal profit. Why? Because the cost totals up to here. Okay, this portion over here, that's the total cost, and there is this area of profit. Okay, so what's gonna happen now? Okay, there are new entrants. So what happens to this demand curve? It shifts inwards. Okay, and since this is the initial equilibrium, we must know that in the final equilibrium they will be earning normal profit. Okay, so what we do now is very simple. The first step, okay, we are going to shift the demand curve such that it is tangent to one point of the average cost curve, because we want to show that they are making normal profit. Okay, so for example, maybe like this. Okay, so this is a new demand curve. Okay, it has shifted to the left and it has become flatter because it is more elastic. Okay, so it is intersecting the average cost curve at this point over here. Let's call it point B. Okay, so another trick. Okay, we need to make sure that it shows normal profit. So what I usually do first is I'm going to draw a vertical line, okay, on point B, so that I know where to make my MC intersect my AC, because the firm will always produce at MC equals to MR. Yeah, okay, so that's my MR curve. I'm going to draw my MR curve just nice so that it cuts through this point, MR1. Okay, so as you can see now, okay, this firm is earning normal profit. Okay, it is charging this price, which is P1. The price has dropped downwards and its total cost is also at this level P1. So therefore this guy is earning only normal profit. Okay, so that is for the dynamics of the demand curves. It's very simple. Okay, now let's go on to the cost curves. Okay, so let's assume that there's a lump sum tax that is imposed, okay, on the monopolistic competitive firm. Okay, so the initial equilibrium is going to be normal profit. Okay, I'm going to show normal profit right now as shown as here. Okay, so what's going to happen is that lump sum tax is going to kick in. Okay, maybe the government is a little bit busybody and it kicks in. Okay, and then we're going to have the average cost curve shifting up. Okay, so I'm going to draw average cost curve, so it looks like this. AC1. Okay, so what's happening now? Okay, the firms are experiencing losses. Okay, experiencing losses obviously because why? If I'm gonna extend my demand, my quantity up, okay, so it's gonna show that I'm gonna be making that much loss. Okay, which is from here and here. Okay, this is my amount of loss because I'm charging at this price and the cost is this much. Okay, so now since there are losses, okay, remember what we learned in perfect competition. Okay, when there are losses, some firms will leave and some firms will remain in the market because they have maybe the price, okay, can cover the average variable cost. Okay, so they will remain and they will continue to fight. Okay, yeah, show some fighting spirit. Okay, so now firms leave. So what happens when firms leaves? The demand towards your firm increases. Okay, and once the demand towards your firm increases, what happens to the demand curve? The demand curve shifts to the right and it becomes more inelastic. That's right. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna use purple. I'm gonna use brown, right? Use brown for my demand curve. So my demand curve is gonna shift out and it's gonna become steeper, just like this. Okay, so I'm just gonna let it cut through this point over here. For example, that's my demand curve. Okay, we call it D1. Okay, so now I want to show that it's making normal profit because the firms will come in. The firms will leave until normal profit is established. Okay, so Now we have shown that the firms leave, we have shown that the demand curve shifts out and the elasticity has dropped. Okay, then let's talk about the MR curve. Okay, the MR curve is going to follow wherever the demand curve goes. Okay, since I know that my my demand curve and my average cost curve intersects at this point, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a vertical line down. Okay, this is a little bit cheating, but it's to make sure that my graph looks very, very nice. Okay, so I'm going to draw my MR this way. Okay, right, this will be MR. Okay, so MR1, MR0 over here. Okay, so as you can see, I'm earning normal profit. Okay, how do I know? Okay, because the firm is producing this much. Okay, this is where MC equals MR. So this is X1. Okay, I'm producing at this point, point B. Okay, point B is normal profit. Okay, because my price, which is P1, covers all my costs, my average cost, my marginal cost. Okay, so this is the cost curves dynamic. It's very simple. Alright. Now, the last part of the video, okay, as you can see, we are getting done very quickly because monopolistic competition is actually very, very easy, is we're going to talk about monopolistic power, how to calculate it. Okay, do not worry about the cost curves moving, because once you see that your marginal cost has shifted, then you'll be concerned. Oh no, I remembered that to calculate monopolistic power, the formula is MC divided by P, but now since P has changed, MC has also changed, so I'm not sure which one is relatively bigger. Okay, do not worry, okay, stay calm. Okay, so this is how you're gonna do it. Recall that MR equals to price, okay, price multiplied by bracket 1 minus 1 over the absolute value of price elasticity of demand, close bracket. And why is it absolute value? Okay, go and think about it. Why is it absolute value? Okay, I hope that you make the guess. Okay, the reason is because since the demand curve is sloping down, okay, so price elasticity is always negative. So if we don't want the negative to be there because it's going to screw up more of our calculations, that's why we only take the absolute value. Okay, and MC divided by P. Okay, so now MC divided by P. If this goes smaller, my monopolistic power becomes bigger. That's right. Okay, if you say smaller, okay, go and bang the wall. Alright, okay. Now, remember that the monopoly, okay, or monopolistic competitor will produce at MR equals to MC. Okay, so I'm going to plug in these values over here. Alright, so what I get is something like this. Okay, P, okay, multiplied by 1 minus 1 over the absolute value of price elasticity of demand equals to marginal cost. Okay, and then I have something like that. I'm going to bring my P over. So if you realize, okay, this is essentially this. Okay, so now look at your price elasticity of demand here. Okay, if you see that firms leave, when firms leave, the elasticity decreases. Now you just all left to common sense. Okay, now let me take you to this. When the elasticity increases, okay, this will decrease. Okay, because when this number becomes bigger, this number will become smaller. When this number becomes smaller, this whole thing becomes bigger. And when this whole thing becomes bigger, this whole thing becomes bigger. And when this whole thing becomes bigger, monopolistic power becomes smaller. Okay, and the opposite. Okay, so that brings me to the end of the monopolistic competition video. Okay, and tutorials will be up soon. I hope that I've learned much from this video. Oh, it's only 30 minutes. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Alright, thank you for viewing.